this next question. We get this quite a bit as well. My initial thing says it's why aren't project managers in PMOs? Right. I'm going to let you take it because I've heard this question over and over and over again over the years. But I suspect I know what you're going to say.
Okay, well, don't. So if that's the case, don't judge me then on the answer. I feel like I'm being set up for a test. I might fail here.
I suspect you agree. But go on. So why aren't project managers in a PMO?
Well, actually, some are is the answer. So it very much depends on. Going to sound like a nagging horse. It depends on the way PMO and PMs are structured in an organization.
Yeah.
I've been in big organizations, banks, where it's actually a part of a delivery function, and that delivery function has a director of change or something of that type, and 2 reporting lines, one of which is PMO in the broadest sense. So it could be portfolio officer, center of excellence that owns frameworks, templates, SharePoint sites, etc. But they also line manage through hierarchy the PM delivery people and as PMs. Yeah. Equally, I've worked in organizations where there's only a PMO, and the PMOs aren't part of it. Sorry, the PMs are not part of the PMO because PMs don't exist. They just hoik out the best person for the business to run a project. But that I've seen quite a lot. Yeah. And then sometimes, yes, you do have the PMOs are over there and the PMs sit in some sort of different reporting line. Mm-hmm. Pros and cons. One of the pros for 2 different sort of, a delivery function over here reporting to somebody and a PMO over there is it creates some separation. And with separation, you typically get a bit of tension. So if you're an organization that wants to run gating reviews, some separation between the people that run the process, own the framework, set the criteria, agree the criteria, having a different reporting line to the people that have to come along and meet that is quite sensible. Otherwise, it's a bit like sending the kids away and marking your own homework, right? So you've created some tension. Yeah. On the flip side of that, if everybody reports the same reporting line, whether that be within the PMO or part of the delivery function, you'd like to think that you could co-create frameworks, disciplines, templates, ways of working with the people that are going to do it. That co-creation, therefore, perhaps could be more effective, more efficient for the organization in terms of delivery of change. And then you don't have the separation of tension for gates, but you have other benefits of I'm accountable for delivering everything because we report to the one transformation director under a delivery function. And why are we starting to fail? Is it because we haven't got the right PM capability, or is it our processes so is it a mixture between the 2? You have a single point of contact in the business that has that challenge to address it. Yeah. So pros and cons, but I've seen where they are in the PMO, where they're not in the PMO, and where PMs don't exist, and there is just a PMO.
Yeah, I think generally, I would think from my experience over the last decade or so, that you tend to see this model of project managers being within the PMO. It's something you see more stateside. It's very American model, I think, more so than it is here in the UK. I'd be interested to know if that goes further in terms of Europe or Asia or Australia or what it is. But, it's certainly what we tend to see.
That's a fair point. I'm working for an American organisation at the moment, and that's absolutely the case. And if I look back to my previous engagements with UK-based organisations, PMs were not part of the PMO I was operating and working in. So that would echo that. Yeah.
I'll tell you one other con about that model of having them all in the same place is that it sometimes has an impact then on where the career path looks like.
Yes.
It tends to be the entry level comes in and it's a very project supporting or project role. And the path is all about becoming a project manager as opposed to becoming a specialist around PMO stuff. It's like, the goal is to be a project manager. And you talk to any person who's been in PMO for a number of years, yourself included, no doubt, that, that's not where you wanted to go. It's, there's a big enough role there with PMO that goes right up to board level. Why go down that route of project manager? And I think that is one of the cons of having that kind of model, I would say.
I would entirely agree with that. And indeed, when I first started in PMO, it was exactly that. Once you prove yourself as a PMO, we'll give you a project.
Yeah.
And I found very quickly, actually, I don't want sleepless nights at the weekend. I want to play golf at the weekend. I'll sit in the PMO, thank you very much. Um,
Would have been an excellent project manager that wouldn't have had that.
I don't know. But my golf handicap wouldn't have been so good. I think the world has changed, and it's very clear you can make a very good career and living and have a lovely life as a PMO person. It's no longer, oh, they do PMO, we do change. It's all part of the same place. But you're right. If you have those together, typically the PMs will always think of themselves as a slightly higher breed than PMO people.
Yeah, no, totally. You heard it here. You can have a really nice life as a PMO person. So, which is
kind of, apologies for the plug, but that's kind of why I wanted to set up the Den, right? Is a lot of PMO stuff is common sense. I'm not a particularly bright person. I left school a long time ago with just 5 O levels, didn't go do A levels, didn't do a degree, but I've made a career in PMO. It's doable. So that was kind of part of the reason for setting up the Den, was for that, to try and enthuse others to say, I'm not being a PMO to become a PM. I'm being a PMO because that's my choice. Yes. Sorry, you're moving me on. Go on.
And totally. So if you're listening and you perhaps at the early stages of your career in PMO, you absolutely need to drop Graham a line through the Den, because again, that he's just said, that's the bit that he really gets a kick out of, helping next generation to come through.